How is everybody doing today? Having fun? So far good? I love that previous sentence. Inflexible operations are the enemy of? Inflexible operations is the enemy of? Thank you. So let's talk about inflexible. Let's describe that in a little bit more detail. I also loved another sentence I saw here on the screen. Every business is a data business. I love that one, actually. I've never heard that one before. I love it. So I'm so happy to be here back to Jamaica. It's become a tradition now to be here every year, especially after the pandemic, and do this in person. I love this. Thank you. For those who know me, I love interactive presentations. So if we can make it a little bit of a conversation, I know we are in the large room and we have microphones on the side. To encourage you a little bit more, I may throw a few questions here and there, and whoever runs to that one of those big microphones in the middle of the room and answers correctly is going to get a $100 gift card. If you don't like gift cards, we have a bunch of cash outside of the room waiting, but that's okay. All right, so let's start talking about data center. So, inflexible operations, agility, cloud, let's cover those terms today in detail. First of all, a little bit about us. I know there's some known faces. We know each other, many of us. Some of you are already Nutanix, part of the Nutanix family. But before I get into that, I just want to say a big thank you to my colleagues. Jonathan Pache is there in the back from Nutanix. Camilo Duran, who flew all the way from Colombia. They are here together with us. Thank you so much for coming and joining us, and thank you for letting me be on stage. So, who are we? For anyone here who doesn't know who Nutanix is today, who are we? Well, I would say, I like to call us a small company, but with over 6,000 people and getting closer to $2 billion in revenue, I don't think we qualify as small anymore. But we've been doing this for a while. We are a company focused on something that I don't see any companies focusing on. Experience. We are here to create experiences. Yes, we are technology people. Yes, we love IT. Yes, we love to do the best we can to make your lives easier. But at the end of the day, we are focused on you IT teams to have a great experience. That's really our vision and mission. In fact, when I talk about revenue, when I talk about how big the company is and those things, the only number that really matters to me is the one at the bottom. Does anybody know what NPS stands for? Net Promoter Score? Yeah? Familiar with it? Do I use the first gift card here? What is the scale for the NPS score? From what to what? Who runs to the microphone and gives me the scale? I need it in the microphone. $100. No? Not my fellow vendors. All right. I'll keep that gift card here for now. Goes to from minus 100 to plus 100, right? Most technology companies in the world are measured by this third-party entity. It's all about customer satisfaction. For 7 years in a row, we've been above 90. No other company in the planet has done this today, right? If you look at the numbers, it's amazing. The difference is huge. So we are so proud of it, and we did it thanks to a lot of things. It's not only a product, it's the way we operate, the way we handle support, the way we manage our relationship with our customers. So that's something we are very proud of. And thanks to that, we have a lot of big customers with us. We have a lot of companies trusting Nutanix. What I want to show you here, yes, logos are great, but it is not a coincidence that the 50% of the airplanes made in the world are made by a company powered by Nutanix. It's not a coincidence that the #1 car maker in the planet is betting their operations on Nutanix. Speaking about companies, I see nice logos here, JetBlue, but there's a lot of other logos we cannot put on the screen. But let's throw another question here. Whoever wants to run to the microphone, please. This is another $100 question. Which one, don't use the phones, which one is the largest company in the planet today? Nope. Nope. Largest company by revenue in the planet today. Microphone, I don't hear you. Nope. I'm going to keep all the gift cards to myself. I'm buying dinner tonight. All right. I asked Wikipedia first. I know I'm old-fashioned. I went to Wikipedia. I know that. But I went to Wikipedia to get the up-to-date list, updated in 2023, of the largest companies in the planet. Right? Top 10. Obviously, some of them are in China, so I'm not going to talk about those for obvious reasons. But Walmart is the largest company in the planet. What a coincidence. The companies that have a green check mark on the left are today running on Nutanix. So if you exclude the ones in China, we basically got them, pretty much all of them except for one, which is in Saudi Arabia. Now, am I here to talk about big logos and big companies? Well, no, but I'm telling you, if those big guys trusted their operations to us to not be inflexible, as we were discussing, so can you, right? Small, medium, large, doesn't matter. We are here to help every organization. And for those of you who think I'm old-fashioned because I went to Wikipedia, yes, I also tried ChatGPT, but it gave me information from 2021. So I used Google Bard, and it gave me the same list as Wikipedia. So I think we're good there. All right. So what all these companies have in common? I think all of them, we all went through the pandemic. We all have a lot of issues with transforming operations. We, all of us together, IT people, the thing we have in common here is very simple. We have challenges. As organizations, we all have challenges operating, getting more agile, innovating, transforming our business operations. That's what I'm here to talk about today. How not to embark into this digital transformation era. How can we not try to be more agile? How can we not overcome inflexible operations? That's what I'm here to talk today. I'm not going to be talking about bits and bytes. We have a table at the corner. If you want to talk into more detail about our technology, we have all the time in the world later. But right now, I'm just going to cover a little bit about how not to approach these challenges today, right? So some of the challenges we have, obviously, it's getting hard. David Allen mentioned in his opening keynote the amount of data being generated. We are talking zettabytes now. That's amazing. That's crazy. So the number of applications, the amount of data being created, where the data is being created now. Data is not created in the main data center anymore. Now there's more data generated at the edge, which is amazing. Now you have Internet of Things, creating amounts of data that are impossible to manage unless you have the right technology to do it. All of us here are going to go through this. There's no way to say, we cannot think about, we cannot think the old way like, well, I'm safe because I'm running whatever I had here. When I joined this company, this is what I had already. Let me just drive this car and that's fine. Nobody gets fired for buying X. That's old mentality. Sorry, we cannot operate our businesses that way anymore. That's a thing of the past. If any of us are trying to embark into 2023 and trying to take my organization to where it has to be next year with old legacy technology, sorry, we are not doing our job. All right? So in 2012, actually a long time ago, 11 years ago, the only challenge you had was to decide on-prem or cloud as an IT director. That was it. You had no other decisions to make. Because remember, first technology change was virtualization. That's another good question here. When was virtualization? Let's make it easier. When did virtualization go to market? VMware was the creator of it, right? We all know that. When did they go to market? Anyone can tell? Nobody wants my gift cards today. It's a little bit hard. Nobody knows? When did virtualization go to market? That's an easy one. How long has it been? 25 years. 1998, virtualization was created. Right. So we went from legacy standalone servers to virtualization created in 1998, and the second revolution was the cloud. In 2020 and 2012, the only decision we had to make is on-prem or cloud. But now, fast forward 10 years later, and the decision is a little bit more complex. Where do I manage my data? How do I protect my data generated at the edge, at the data center 1, data center 2, cloud or multi-cloud or cloud 1, 2, or 3, whatever it is. It is more complex than that, right? So yes, obviously there's the desire to have a centralized way. And we want the freedom. We want a centralized way to manage everything, but we want the freedom to move anything to anywhere. I don't know if any of you agrees with this, but if I could have one way to have data protected, running anywhere, and make decisions to move a workload from A to B. Doesn't matter if A is a cloud or a private data center, doesn't matter. If I had the freedom to one click move something from here to there without refactoring, without redesigning, without changing, just one click, move from cloud A to cloud B. This is a cloud forum today, right? So let's talk clouds. Imagine if we could move something from cloud A to cloud B, to on-prem, back to DR site, back to on-prem, back to cloud A. Has that been possible before? If anyone has seen that, please show me, because that wasn't a reality before. It was a dream. Many companies have been talking about this, but honestly, no one delivered. So we want an operating model. I think if you like the idea of running, I hear this a lot. Executives, they go to the golf course, they play golf, and their friends say, you know what, I think I'm going to go cloud first. My company is going to be cloud first on Monday. Why? Sounds cool. All right, fine. What is cloud? So today we are talking about cloud. What is cloud? To me, cloud is an operating model. It's not a destination. Please, if anyone disagrees, tell me. It is not a place. And there's a misconception. Many executives think going to cloud means I'm going to hire or tell my people to refactor everything I have to fit whichever cloud vendor tells me to do, to fit whatever method of working they have. That's what I'm going to do. And my question is, why? You should be free. You should be free to choose wherever you want to run. Yes, do you like the idea of being off-premise? Fine. Let's build your cloud off-premise. There's a cartoon that I wish I had here on the screen where an executive was saying, we are going to the cloud. And the IT person says, okay, here's your cloud. Where do you want it? So, yes, the cloud is a way to operate. If you are thinking about operating your infrastructure as a cloud, please, let's do it together. But really do it. And it's not going to happen if we continue using our technology the old way. What is the old way? Creating everything manually, next, creating virtual machines, asking my users to submit a ticket to get to me, and then I approve it, and then my IT administrator creates a machine and hands it over to somebody to install an OS, and that person hands over the server to a DBA to install a database engine, and then over and over and over to different people until they finally deliver the application that I wanted. Weeks later, that's not going to work anymore. That's the way we've been doing things since the 80s and 90s. That's not a cloud operating model. And if we are here sitting together today, it's because we believe in the cloud operating model. So with old technology, like legacy 3-tier, who has a SAN in their data center today? Anyone has a SAN still? No more SANs in Jamaica? I don't see any. Not one. All right, two. Well, okay, I'm happy. When I used to manage data centers, very large ones, and I had those SANs, I don't know if you agree with me, please. I was so afraid of those things. I mean, I was considered the expert in it in my company, the largest hospitality company in the world, but I was afraid of them. I wasn't confident enough to do anything I wanted with them because I was so afraid it's going to break. It was going to do something that I wasn't expecting or I didn't want it to do. And I interview a lot of IT professionals, and they tell me the same. They say, Gustavo, I don't want to even get close to that thing. That black box is running. Leave it alone. Don't touch it. Don't patch it. Don't even breathe next to it. Am I right? So if the vendor calls me, hey, there's a new Flare code for your SAN expert, I'm like, no, do not touch that thing. I see people smiling there. That means I'm not too far from the reality here, right? So we cannot be afraid of the technology we manage. there has to be a better way. That's what we, as Nutanix, we believed in since we came to market. Another question, I don't know if anyone wants a gift card today. When did we create hyperconvergence? When? Anyone? Not you, Jonathan, not you, Camilo. 2009. That's when we came to market with the idea of making things a lot better than this. Silo technology, 3-tier, SAN. Remember the concept of best of breed? Remember that? I used to be an IT director, and I would buy the best in networking. Which brand do I like? I think the best is X. Okay, buy it. What is the best SAN? Buy the best SAN. The best servers, I like brand X. Then I got the best of everything. I ended up with I still call it a Frankenstein of best of breed brands, but that's how we used to do things. That's how it was. It was okay to do it. And if I was a good director, I would just buy the best of everything, and that would be cool, and no one gets fired for buying the best. The problem is, it was just the same monster with nice names behind it, but the same inflexible operations was there every single day for me, right? So if we look at the past, legacy technology, this is a diagram that I have been using for so many years now. Look at this diagram here. On the left-hand side, you see the traditional, obviously from bottom to top, we have the SAN at the bottom. By the way, I know a lot of people have seen this diagram. Have you noticed in 3-tier technology how the data, which is the most important thing we all have, is as far away as possible from whoever uses the data, which is the application? Isn't that ironic? Applications are using the data. They are reading and writing data all the time, and they are as far as possible from it. It doesn't make sense, but that's the way we, IT people, we learned. That's what we've been designing for decades. SAN at the bottom, drives, maybe SSDs, I don't care. SAN vendor said, my SAN is better now because all flash is here. Well, I disagree respectfully, but okay, drives are faster, fine, nice. Then you have HBAs, you have storage controllers, you have a bottleneck at the bottom, you have fabrics, you have fiber channel switches, you have HBAs, you have servers, hopefully not blades, but servers or blades or not, you have servers. A server is nothing but compute, CPU, and memory, that's it. There's nothing else there. At the top, you have a virtualization layer, which makes things a lot better, for sure. And then at the very top of the stack, now you have the application, what really matters to all of us. My clients, my users want services. They want applications, right? By the way, the timer is not working, so if I run over my time, please somebody tell me, because this thing is not working. I know I'm going to talk for hours if you don't stop me. So, applications at the top, data at the bottom, bottlenecks between, absolutely. Points of failure in between, yes or no? Has anyone seen a SAN down? Yes? That's not a happy day, right? I remember when, I'm going to use an example from the same hospitality company I'm talking about. That was, I'm going to use the name. That was Starwood before Marriott acquired us and before we became Marriott today. Somebody had the brilliant idea of bringing a junior intern to do some maintenance to the generators outside of the data center. And that person believed it was a good idea to push the wrong red button, and you know what happened, right? Data center went down. The main data center in Orlando, Florida, which was replicated to Phoenix, Arizona, because we had 2 in Orlando, another one in Phoenix, the opposite side of the country, for business continuity purposes. So much for business continuity. Did I have my data in both sides? Absolutely. I had it in 3. 2 in Orlando, 1 in Arizona. Do I check the box for compliance? Absolutely. My auditors came every month. They said, Gustavo, show me your backups. Here's my report. All my people had my reports ready for me. Horrible backup reports of a bunch of running guys, blue, green, red, failed jobs. And they said, oh, you have all green. Fine. You passed the audit. Passing an audit, being in compliance is not being effective. Being effective is bring this building down today. I push a button or I make a call and the whole company runs in another location. That's being effective. That's true business high availability. And trust me, we will never be able to achieve that with old technology like the one on the left. If you are here today thinking about refresh of technology, taking the business to the next level, becoming more agile, or implementing a cloud operating model, would you do that with 3-tier? If you had the option today to start from scratch, let's say you're beginning a new company today, and you have to choose the technology, would you use this? Would you use SAN, 3-tier? Would you choose single points of failure? No. I believe the answer is no. The answer would be a platform, a unified platform that is, by the way, the same platform that every single cloud in the world today use. It's not a coincidence that Google, AWS, Azure, Facebook, any of those huge companies use the same technology. The only thing we did as Nutanix is we took the same technology that those giants use and we brought it to you. Small, medium, large organizations, doesn't matter. The only difference is size, capacity. But anyone can scale now to any size. You could be this small company, have the freedom to scale up at any time you want with zero restrictions. I remember Mr. Allen had a slide on the screen about freedom, about you choose, if that's what it said, right? You choose how to scale, you choose how to grow, and if you want to have a true operating model, well, how can we do it on your terms, with you in charge of how to grow? Since we agree on the fact that 3-tier with SAN and old technology is not the way to go, and again, if anyone disagrees, please feel free to raise your hand. I love interruptions, that's okay. But if you agree with that, now the next question is going to be, well, if that is the case, how do I do it? All right, we know 3-tier is not the way. We know legacy is not the way. The true way is a single unified platform that is 100% distributed, that is 100% highly available, and is obviously providing me better performance than before. So if I change that model that we had, and we replace it with a truly highly available platform, the next question is, how do I do it? How many options do I have? Really, there's a lot of companies who've been trying to follow Nutanix since we came to market in 2000. We started in 2009, but the first hyper-converged cluster went to market in 2011. So since then, every single company or big tech company has been trying to follow us, but the reality is there's not many more left. Some of them have dropped along the way. When you choose your technology company, when you choose a hyper-converged platform to implement that on-premise cloud model, and again, we still have to define a little bit better what is a cloud operating model, but I believe, I hope you agree that yes, we said this is a model, not a destination. So the idea of a cloud operating model is any application anywhere. It's providing my users with what they need, a server, a desktop, a database, a whole application, a multi-VM application, or more modern Kubernetes-based applications, containerized applications. That's a new way of developing code, right? Now everything is in containers. We all are going, by the way, if you want my feedback here is start learning more about serverless applications, because we are all going in that direction. I see a future with no servers at all. Everything is going to be containers, and that's a trend that I think we will all be on. So a cloud operating model has to be based on the fact that those applications, server-based or not, are everywhere, anywhere, and are protected also correctly. That's another big topic. If I give you a platform, if I give you that data center in a box that provides storage, compute, virtualization, built-in data protection, containers, any storage service you can imagine, block storage, iSCSI, file servers. All of us here have file servers in our companies, right? How many of you are running file servers on Windows. Come on, raise your hands. Come on, it's okay. No one runs file servers on Windows? Yes, a few? We all did. We all had to. We were forced to do it. What do I know about my file server running on Windows? I know there's X number of shared folders, files. I know there's a certain amount of terabytes in use. That's pretty much all I know about it, right? And I use a backup tool that integrates with it to back it up and protect it. Wouldn't it be better to run that file server on something that is 100% ransomware proof, by the way, because Windows obviously is not, and have some analytics built into it so I know some data about my data? Wouldn't it be nice to know if Mr. David Allen came to work today and decided to delete 500 files in 5 minutes? That's an abnormal behavior. He normally comes to work and opens 5 files every day, or 10. Deleting 500 files in a minute, it's not a good thing. Wouldn't it be nice to have some intelligence behind that file server, auditing, checking for me what's happening, and when there is an abnormal behavior like a ransomware attack or Mr. Allen being upset with me deleting files, wouldn't it be better to have that intelligence checking, blocking, and alerting me when that happens? That's what I'm talking about. Modern technologies are here today. Whether it's a simple file server that you want to move away from that Windows insecure environment to a more modern platform, or simple a virtualization layer that runs any server, any OS, any app, anywhere you want. That's the freedom I'm talking about. And again, this is for organizations of all sizes, small, medium, large. We keep calling it data center in a box because when you think about storage, compute, virtualization, and applications, serving all those under a self-service model. I know some of us in IT, we don't like the idea of giving the freedom to the users to request whatever they want, but I am still in charge. I am still the one who sets the rules. I still set the quotas to decide if Department A has access to 1 terabyte of storage or X amount of VMs or X amount of OSs. I am still the one who makes those decisions. I set the rules. I am IT. I am responsible for this, of course, but why not letting the users self-service whatever they need and leave my team alone to focus on more important tasks? Why not? So there's a lot of differentiators. There's a lot of reasons to choose Nutanix to build this cloud platform under a cloud operating model. We are able, and we have proved this to many of you here in Jamaica, government, finance, private sectors. We have a lot of success stories here. And we have proved and demonstrated that we can build your private cloud in hours, not weeks, not months. Most of the time, I hear my engineers calling me saying, Gustavo, customer A has been completely deployed. Site A, site B, replication, private cloud done, 1 day. 1 day. Any of us who has been through a traditional legacy deployment with SAN and all that stuff, we know it takes weeks or months sometimes. 1 day to get your cloud ready. Your private cloud on your terms. You make the decisions, not a vendor. You are the one in charge. With X hardware that you like, with the configuration that you like, with the capacity that you want to begin with, which ties into a financial model now. Let's talk about how to purchase these things. Do I want CapEx? Do I like OpEx? Why not having the flexibility to do whichever one you want? So deploy in hours, be more efficient, obviously energy efficient, space, I'm talking about rack space efficient. We need to save, we need to reduce costs. There's no way around it. That's one of the priorities. Every business here today is challenged with reducing cost. Every day we are told to do more with less, right? So reducing costs, being more efficient in hours, not weeks. Obviously, I don't like the word cheaper, but I think reducing costs is more accurate in this case. Giving you the scalability to begin small and grow to any level you want, whenever you want. Those are some of the key differentiators. No platform outside of Nutanix gives you the flexibility I'm talking about. Run in any hardware, run any hypervisor, connect to any public cloud of your choice. If you like the idea of plugging into a public cloud, run in a public cloud, that's fine. Your cloud could be anywhere you want. Managed from the same console you use every single day, on-prem, or not on-prem? I think I have too many gift cards here. I need to think about other questions, right? I don't know how I'm going to make it a little bit easier. Anyway, summarizing, freedom of choice. You choose. If you are building something, if you're building your own cloud, think about freedom to choose hardware, virtualization layer, mixing and combining. Again, you are in charge. One platform means one command center. One single console to manage all of those locations. Robo, think about the small offices, remote offices. How do I protect those? Do I have to go the old way and deploy a backup software in those remote locations? Come on, that's a thing of the past. I don't have to. Why not replicating natively and having my centralized backup location? We are going to hear a lot more about that later, by the way. So why not making things simple? This point, the power of simplicity, is, I think, key to address the inflexible operations that Mr. Allen was referring to. I should be able to operate my IT department with invisible infrastructure, and that's exactly what we do. We are experts at making infrastructure invisible. You like the idea of creating your private cloud with the option to connect to public, of course. Do you like the idea of making it easy? Do you like the idea of using one single console every day to operate this nice new cloud of yours? That's exactly who we are. Your customers are happy because they enjoy a consumer experience. They enjoy I call it the smartphone experience. Whether you're an Android or an iPhone user, we all enjoy a nice device that installs an application with one tap. Not mouse clicks, right? Taps. I install an app just touching an icon. That's all I need to do. And the device backs up itself, right? Your photo collection, isn't it backed up immediately in real time, most of the times? That's exactly how your technology department should be. And that's exactly the experience I want you to give to your users. Give the users a self-service portal. Why not? They should be able to request an application, a database, whatever they want, request it, go through approvals, and get it back. 0 clicks, 0 manual IT intervention. Yes, IT is in charge, but IT should not be clicking next and next and next every time somebody wants that. If I summarize what to consider when you decide to embark into this private cloud journey, I have my top 4 considerations to make here. I said this many times, but I think freedom is important. If you hear a vendor telling you, I have your cloud here, but by the way, it has to be this brand, it has to be this way, it has to be configured with, with X type of drives, because otherwise I cannot do what I promised you I would do, then that's not freedom. If you are only allowed to grow in certain way, or with certain brand, or with certain configuration, that is not freedom, right? Please. If you consider vendor to build this cloud, freedom should be 1. Number 2, of course, portability. Licensing should be reduced. You don't want to pay 100 different license contracts. In the traditional legacy model, you had a support contract for the storage vendor, the switches, the fabric, the servers, the virtual layer. Who do you call when you have a problem? Everybody points fingers, network blames servers blames the application, everybody's blaming everyone, right? Why not one platform to power it all? Even Gartner, for those of you who are following Gartner agrees on this. It's not a product world anymore, it's a platform world. You have to choose a platform and maximize the potential of that platform. That platform should reduce licensing, consolidate licensing, obviously reducing costs, that goes hand in hand with it, and make sure you have full license portability. Meaning, I should be able to take my license for the platform of choice from my on-prem to site B, to public cloud X, to public cloud Y, back on-prem. My licenses should be fully portable. I invested on them. I paid for them. I own those licenses. It is my right to use them anywhere I want. Ask your vendor if they will allow that. In terms of how your data is managed, again, going back to the point of every business is a data business, I love that one. Make sure the platform you choose provides true resiliency. Data resiliency is key. We cannot afford to lose data. If your vendor is telling you, well, my platform is highly available, but the fine print in page 287 says if you lose one drive, you will lose a whole group of drives, and your data is going to be exposed to data loss for 60 minutes before I start rebuilding whatever I have to rebuild. Sorry, that is not a resilient platform. And by the way, the only true competitor to us that remains in the market, that's exactly what they give you today. They don't put it in writing in their sales pitch, of course, but your data is exposed in many situations for at least an hour. So how the data is protected? Do you have data protected in real time at all times upon a one drive failures, two drive failures, three, an entire node? When those things happen, how do you protect my data? Ask those questions. Can you protect me even if I have totally different nodes with all flash and hybrid or storage heavy or storage only or compute only? Can I do all those kind of crazy combinations? And your vendor, will you protect my data even in those crazy scenarios? If they say yes, please consider them. Do they provide data locality, meaning the data is written in real time to flash at all times locally in the node where your application is? Data locality is a concept that we invented in 2011. Still today, nobody else can guarantee 100% data locality, which means better performance for your applications, which means happy customers. Please ask those questions. And obviously, in addition to those 3 points, savings. Do a TCO analysis. Ask us, ask your vendor, ask InfoExchange to help with a TCO analysis. Because many times we compare apples to oranges. Oh, my standalone server is cheaper than your Nutanix cluster. Of course it is. If you want a standalone server, you are going, that's a totally different conversation to have, right? Do you want a platform? It could be small, yes, but do you want a true platform that is pretty much self-driven with autopilot, you turn it on and forget about it? Yes, that's us. Do you like a data center in a box that can grow anytime you want, any way you want? Yes, that's us. Do you want a platform that can scale up and operate like a public cloud economic model, right? OpEx, grow, pay as you go, grow whenever you want, pay for what you use, not for what we want you to pay. If you like that idea, that's us. At the end, this is exactly what we have done. We created the Nutanix Cloud Platform. It's a collection of services, a collection of storage services, database as a service, desktop services, applications. It's a platform that started with compute and storage and virtualization all integrated together. We did not go and buy a lot of companies to try to bolt all this together. We created everything from scratch. This platform, yes, integrated compute, storage, and virtualization, but then after we did that, that was the basic hyper-converged technology that we created in 2009. But after that, we added a lot more services, containers, Kubernetes, storage services, object storage. Who doesn't want to store their backups today in object-based storage? It's the only way to have a ransomware strategy. It's the only way to have ransomware-proof storage that could be write once, read many, which means you are safe. Do you want object storage? Do you want safe backup storage? We have those services. iSCSI, block, file storage, object storage, all those services are there in the Nutanix platform. And you, even if you are small organizations, you could have all of these services that I'm talking about in one single box. One single box. I used to tell an IT executive that I could take his data center in the trunk of my car, and he didn't believe me, but it is true. So this is what we have been doing for a long time now. So again, this platform is here for you. Obviously online, there's a lot of materials, there's a lot of learning materials in YouTube. There's a test drive online, but the best way to learn a little bit more is to contact my friends at Info Exchange. Please have the conversations with them. Talk to Ondel, David, the whole sales team that was here on stage a minute ago. Talk to them. Have a conversation. See it. Touch it. The best way to understand this technology is to have a one-on-one, 1 hour demo or live interactive workshop, whatever works for you. Please touch it. Make sure you understand. Make sure you ask us. Show me how I can deploy a cloud infrastructure in 1 day. What Gustavo said on stage sounds great, but in PowerPoint everything runs well, right? Show me how this is true. I ask you to please give us the opportunity to show you how this is a reality. We've been doing this for a while. We have a lot of happy customers worldwide, as I showed before, but here in Jamaica, of course, we have a lot of success stories. So at this point, I'm just going to say thank you so much for your time. So happy to be here in Jamaica. And next, by the way, you're going to have a lot more to learn about the best way to protect the technology I just described. I've been talking about hyperconvergence, public cloud, private clouds. This is the best modern technology available in the world today. If you want to know more about how to properly protect this technology, our next speaker is going to give you more information about it. So thank you very much.